Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Hokey SMOKES. Yes, indeed, a brand new day. Oy vey, I did not sleep well, unfortunately. I went to bed right around 11-ish. It wasn't really late, wasn't really early. I mean, for me, it was before. Well, I think I finally got lights turned off and rolled over to go to sleep at like after midnight. I don't know how long, but still. Usually I can at least sleep, but 3 o'clock I woke up and had to empty my bladder. You know, that happens. I got up and I was wide awake. Tired, but wide awake. And so, oh joy, I debated just staying up. You know, we have a 90-minute sleep cycle to dip into REM sleep up and back, and it was just 2 hours, which would have been just enough time if I would have instantly fallen asleep to go into a REM cycle and not had it be bad and keep me logy and tired. But of course, YouTube algorithms and front loading of videos. Hey, if you like what you hear and see, if you could toss me a like, that'd be cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, again, if you like what you hear and see, definitely a thumbs up. I love comments. If you could leave me a comment, that would be very, very cool. I do my best to answer as many as my executive dysfunction will allow. Thumbs up for that. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These beautiful and awesome people are indeed beautiful and awesome people, literally helping to keep me alive. I appreciate that to no end. It is nice to be alive. I appreciate being alive, and I can't remember how long I should be keeping my hands up in the air, so hopefully long enough and not too long. Yay. But thank you, each and every one of you. Definitely a thumbs up on that. So cool. Front loading of the video over. But yeah, it's so I went to bed knowing I wasn't going to be able to fall asleep. And if I did, it was just I would be dead tired when 5:30-ish came around, so yay. But I didn't sleep. I just tossed and turned until finally around 5 I got up. So not a good day on that, but life is life. We'll see how it works out. And I made a call to the hospital yesterday, so that's twice I've called up now and got nothing back, and I don't want my bill to go to collection, so I guess I'm gonna have to walk there? Walk up physically and say, hi, I've got issues, and where do I need and who do I need to talk to, because your phone menu system sucks. So, yay. Joy on that. I am feeling a little bit better. I continue to feel better. I don't feel wonderful by midday and end of day, but, you know, a lot of times, you know, a day is a day. You don't feel good at the end of that time, depending on what happened. So who knows if it's just that or extra illness, but I usually feel pretty good when I get home from my walkies, because you gotta go walkies. Well, I mean, you don't have to. I choose to. And so, yay on that. But I'm coming back and feeling better, and it's nice to go walkies. I enjoy that. Physical exercise is good as long as I don't, you know, overdo things. So yay on that. It's been nice, and it's been non-raining, so that part has been very cool. I mean, we need the rain. I'm not complaining about that part. It's just for like 4 months it was raining every single day, so the fact that it has stopped, thumbs up for that. And right now I have my kitty cat on my lap. She has not made a full recovery. She is still not eating as well as she should. I mean, I gave her a full can of tuna fish this morning, and I think she's eaten like maybe half of it. So she's not completely better, but she still drinks a whole lot more. She does eat food, and that's all good. She was just sleeping in one spot for like 12, 15, 18 hours a day, and I was really afraid. Now she wanders around. She's up in my lap. And again, not perfect, and no, it's never going to be perfect. She's like, if she's not 20, she's approaching 20. So, just like me, we all get older. Just like you, we all get older. Whether you're alive or not, you will get older as all your basic bits, parts, and pieces continue to age, whether or not there's anything up here to acknowledge that. Yay! So life is life. I mean, things are good that way. There are phone calls I still have to make. I have to go walk to the hospital so I can get that done. But at least things are slowly happening. I'm able to make those phone calls. I mean, that's 2 phone calls to the same place I've been able to make, whereas I went before the beginning of the year, I couldn't do any of that. So it's, at least I'm getting there. It's getting brighter in the morning, it's getting brighter, and so that's good. Depression falls away from sunlight if you have SAT. Yay. So past that though, I mean, I've just been watching videos, I've been playing games when I can, trying to keep my mind active. I go walking up and down the stairs when I have to go to the bathroom, or if I have to go get something to eat, or I just want to walk outside because I've been up in here all day. So I'm still moderately active, and then of course the huge 5+ mile walkies at the end of the day. So it's good to stay as active as you can. A good thing. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Past that though, just trying to think about things and remember stuff, and I know I did a whole bunch of thinking yesterday, especially about my setting while I was out walkies, and I can't really remember any of it. So isn't that special? Ugh. There are days, especially when sick, that even when taking my ADHD meds, they slow time down, but the rest of my brain still can't turn on and function properly. So my memory is not as bad as it would be unmedicated, but it certainly is not as good as it could be, because I can be walking along thinking thoughts, and I have had happen where it's like, okay, I'm following along, I know exactly what's happening, and what on earth was I thinking about? And then struggling for minutes to try and remember what I was just thinking about. I love being sick. Yay! Past that though, as stated, just going on walkies and trying to be as mentally active and trying to do as much as I can. So, because I don't really have anything about my life here to talk about, aside from my little kitty cat, and the various things that I do, video-wise and such, and I did that. I posted the Ahab one yesterday. I try to do, excuse me, vocal cords just failed. Ugh. I try to do as much as I can creatively, but I can't push my creativity. I can only follow where it goes. So thumbs up on that. Which, and speaking, I'm going to talk about this some more. Not only just the setting, but other stuff too. But the whole inside-outside razor's edge thing, that's a huge project that hopefully I'm actually going to be able to get done in writing. I just have to be able to do that. Now that I'm feeling better, my hands still hurt, of course, but they don't hurt as bad as they did when I was really sick. So that's good. I'm just minor illness and getting over it now. Kitty's active. One of the things that I was thinking about, though, was that story that I talked about yesterday, where it's really kind of dreamlike and bizarre, because it starts with one character, and ironically, of course, a bullet through the head, and after they've said, nothing can take this perfect day away from me, except for maybe that, and then, of course, the assassin finds out that they went and got the wrong person. They can't figure out what's going on. They get smacked in the back of the head. They don't realize that, because when you get smacked, you get amnesia for the last minute or two before you get smacked. And so wakes up with a raging infection in this cabin in snow, and then dies of the fever and infection before they even have a chance to understand what's happening. But then this other person shows up to fix things, and while they're doing so, time seems to do some really weird stuff, and then he's revealed to also now be a patient in an asylum. And so I had been thinking, because this is all still the cosmic horror framework stuff, that I don't know how this whole story is to be presented. It's more of it's not just words. It's also more than that I'm envisioning in my head. Because at this point, when Paolo, the assassin, dies of fever in this cabin, it's only when this other person, Lev Peterson, shows up to do the cleanup. That's their job for whatever organization they work for. They do the cleanup in this cabin, and they fly in to do that. Now, while they're flying in, comic book wise, there would be a pan out to show extra panels where it's not just a cabin that's on an icy plain or snowy plain, there's a big excavation and laboratories and such underneath it. And underneath the laboratories, there's further excavation down until you see that there's a place where they had dug down and gotten something. And then you got to pan back up to the laboratory where there's an object in a large laboratory, and it's under a lot of observation with people and machines and such. And then it goes back to Lev going into the building and then finding Paolo, who's only been dead for a few hours, still hot from fever. And then when he hears the noise, Lev does, and then goes outside, that's when his mind is really getting played with at that point. Because what's happening when he's finding the soldier who's got a watch that shows like 70 years have passed, that's another pan down to show the laboratory and such underneath, where it looks largely the same. A few extra rooms, some minor changes to others, but all of the people are now not there. They're all inside of the room where the object they found was. Well, they're not actually all there. Just the dried corpses of everybody who had been there in various postures of frozen death and supplication to the object that they dug out of the earth. So the whole room was just choked with the mummified corpses of everybody who was in the laboratories below the building. And so when Lev is figuring out that something is really bad and goes running inside yelling for Paolo, that's why he has to stop. He's very dizzy. He's trying to figure this thing out. He doesn't have a partner named Paolo. He's always worked by himself. He doesn't have a partner. Why was he yelling for Paolo? And who answered him from down in the building that said, "I'm here, Lev"? So that is when you discover that 30 years prior to this time, this person showed up trying to figure out, where did the time go? Where did time go? What happened? How did all this time pass? Because Paolo is just freeze-dried, mummified bones and scraps of flesh. What's happened? Well, cosmic horror interference, unfortunately. And we on these levels are not set up for that sort of thing. So it's a sad story, but there you go. I'm working on that. I also have some other things that I'm trying to remember because I wrote stuff down and I am still ill, so that's joyous. I can't remember if I talked about this one though, so real quick I'm going to talk about this one. Sometimes when I am out on walkies, I get so into what I'm thinking about, I completely forget about where I am. I have mentioned I walk around in downtown Shelton and I have to do some loops where I'm walking along some spots that I walked before. I can be so deep in thought and thinking about my various settings that I will walk this big loop and then start the second half of it, which goes in slightly different areas. But then I'm through the second loop and you're just going, is this my first one? How about is this the second one? Where do I go? Do I go to the store now or do I continue and would I be making a third loop? You'd think you'd be able to remember, being able to walk around and stuff, but I'm having to go, wait, okay, did I walk? I would have seen this. Okay, that seems familiar. Yeah, I did that. Yay! It's fun being human. But hey, I've also opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Gonna go through and thank I haven't had 25 people leave me comments in a very long time. I'm going to thank everybody that left me a comment. Thank you all so very much. Anything more than 0 is awesome. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I got an American Sign Language, well, you've seen how my brain works. Thumbs up for that. And I'm still sick, so I'm just not thinking wonderfully. AJ Stoddard, thumbs up and thank you. Caleb Ridenauer, thumbs up. Confused Owl 29, greatly appreciated. It's a weird story and still working on it. Zombie Wolf with a good idea about movie reviews. Ben B, thumbs up and thank you. Brian Glenn, greatly appreciated. Trey Frew, heck of a name, thumbs up. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. Joe Duffy, thumbs up and thank you. And that is it. 9 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciating getting out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, if only for a short time and only in text. It is appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up on that. I don't know what device you're watching this on, don't know where the show more of the video description is, don't even know if you're watching this on a device where you can see that. I watch videos on my PS4 every once in a while. It does not show you comments or anything, so depending on what you're watching, you may see this. But inside the show more, the links to my various channels, also have links to my Twitter, Facebook, my Patreon, and again, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. Literally, these beautiful and awesome people help to keep me alive. It is appreciated to no end. My disability barely covers my rent, and without the help of every single one of my patrons, I wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you so very, very much. And if you'd like to help me out, become a patron, well, there are links below. And if you would like to help me out without becoming a patron, hopefully that was English, there's a PayPal link down below. And if you'd like to help me out without sending any money at all, there is, of course, an Amazon wishlist link with all sorts of fun stuff on it. And thank you so very, very, very much if you check it out. Don't feel obligated. I don't feel entitled. And if you cannot or do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. A definite thumbs up. And, of course, if you did the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Whew. I get out of breath very easily right now, so joy. I love being sick. My kitty is upset that I keep waving my arms around, so thumbs up for that. I'm going to be changing this so that it doesn't just say to seek all these things. I'm going to put a picture or a new phrase there for tomorrow. Yay, but for today, remember to seek all these things. Good ideas, definitely a thumbs up. Cynthia? Yes, it's the covfefe bug. Oh boy, like I said, I love being sick. Hey, with the covfefe bug still raging out there, and oh boy, so many people that are losing their lives to this thing, don't be a statistic. If you don't have to go out amongst the unmasked, unvaxxed mouth breathers, please don't. If you do, wear a mask, maintain that social distancing, wash your hands as often as you can. Good Lord, I love my vocal cords this morning. Try not to touch your face. Get the vaccine if you can. Get the booster if it's available for you. Don't be a statistic. It's a disease. It doesn't care about anybody's political affiliation. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is, well, in my book at least, a very good thing.